Mr. Chair, it's 12:29. Do you want to, you said you will cut off at 12:30?
No, because it is you. I cannot cut it off.
No,
because
Mr. Chair.
otherwise I will never hear the end of it. Huh?
Mr.
No,
Chair, I will follow
no,
your
but
ruling.
no, but seriously.
Mr. Chair, I have no objection if that was a
No,
previous-
no. In fact, the speaker has given an instruction already, considering the heat of the discussion here today. Like I said, anybody who wants to have lunch, including our resource persons, you are free to go to the room behind. We now call on a member of the independent, one of our independents, the Honorable Representative Tobias Tiangco of Navotas. Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, it's 12:29. Do you want to, you said you will cut off at 12:30?
No, because it is you. I cannot cut it off.
No,
because
Mr. Chair.
otherwise I will never hear the end of it. Huh? No,
Mr. Chair, I will follow your ruling.
but seriously.
Mr. Chair, I have no objection if that was a
No.
previous-
In fact, the speaker has given an instruction already, considering the heat of the discussion here today. Like I said, anybody who wants to have lunch, including our resource persons, you are free to go to the room behind, including the members of Congress. But we will extend our discussion insofar as DOE and DMW is concerned by another hour.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, nabawasan na naman ng konti yung tanong ko because of the questioning of Congressman Garbin earlier. So I would just like to ask the Honorable Secretary, no, kasi naputol si Congressman Garbin doon, yung replacement cost accounting, pag pababa naman yung presyo, nasisigurado po ba natin na binababa rin accordingly ng mga oil companies? Diba kasi pag tumataas, ang binagbabasihan nila is yung tumaas na presyo doon. Ngayon, pag pababa naman, nasisigurado ba natin na ganun din ang ginagawa ng mga oil companies, Mr. Chair?
Yes, yes, Mr. Chair. We monitor that over the years also. That's basically parang bawi din pag bumaba rin yung presyo.
Pangalawa po, Mr. Chair, does the DOE have enough powers at the present situation na kung may makita po kayo na nanamantala dun sa pagtaas at nanamantala din dun sa pagbaba na hindi nila binababa, pwede nyo silang isanction because despite the Oil Deregulation Act, Mr. Chair?
Mr. Chair, the powers it has been triggered. We're asserting that mandate triggered by the EO of the President, Mr. Chair. It's the emergency clause under the oil deregulation law, which says the government can take over or control operations of oil companies if there's an emergency.
So, Mr. Chair, ang ibig sabihin po nun, sapat na yung EO at hindi nyo kailangan ng additional immediate powers sa Kongreso po ngayon?
Mr. Chair, now we have an EO, yes, but I think there are moments that when there should be moments that are not technically emergency because there's no declaration, no? Pero dapat may circumstance that DOE should have more powers over this, Mr. Chair.
Okay, sunod po, Mr. Chair. Pag in-implement na po at binawasan yung excise tax, does the
Pwede ba,
Yes.
Kong Toby? So, yun ang tanong namin, Secretary Sharon. So, ngayon, ang power lang ng DOE in reality, in a highly deregulated industry, is just to penalize excessive profiteering, collusion, conspiracies in trade. Yan yun eh. Nagsasabwatan at saka kumikita, hoarding, etc. So, ang tanong namin is, sabi mo may extraordinary situations, which you guys are the expert, not us. Ano ba ang kinakailangan at under what circumstance na po pwede? Kasi this is something that Congress wants to grant the executive. Again, we don't want to go back to a highly regulated industry. Lilinawin natin, we are better off today than when we were in the early 90s, mid-90s, na very regulated ang oil industry. We are far better today. And in fact, we are able to respond to it better. Itong oil crisis kung nangyari noon, mas dadapa tayo. Pero ang tanong namin parati is, ano bang kinakailangan ninyong power tuwing nagkakaroon ng extraordinary circumstances para yung presyo ay magkaroon tayo ng degree of control, whether it is baguhin ang replacement system, kung ano man. Ano bang po pwede? Anong suggestion?
Mr. Chair, for example, I think there has to be triggers when the regulation comes in. No? Ngayon kasi kailangan may state of emergency. So halimbawa, like on the excise tax that was passed by Congress here, ang trigger nun, $80 per barrel with a certain average. Pwede naman something like that, Mr. Chair. For example, why am I'm considering that? Kasi we have been over this past couple of weeks, we've been trying to dissect where are the problems in the industry. It's not just Petron, Caltex, and Shell. Those are companies that have their own gas stations. But we have half of the country, which serves far-flung areas in Mindanao, and Visayas, and in Luzon. Those are independents. Diyan po, hindi lang po may importer ka na, may trader ka, may bulk distributor, and then the gas stations. There's not enough visibility in how those, yung patong-patong nakita dyan kung anong nangyayari dyan, Mr. Chair. So, if DOE can, at the very least, dictate how much they should earn in times of those difficult times, then DOE can, the public can be more protected from profiteering and any other taking advantage of the situation, Mr. Chair.
I think malinaw naman, Secretary Sharon. Just like when we approved the excise tax, the power to suspend, there has to be very, very specific, detailed triggers kung kailan siya pwedeng i-exercise. Because once it is vague, it is general, it sends a very bad signal to the private sector or to even investors. And when that happens, we will have a worse situation because people will not bring out the supply. Mura nga ang presyo, pero wala namang magbebenta, mas worse yung ating problema. So, ang tanong namin, on the triggers, kayang pag-usapan. Pero pag pinag-usapan, ano ba yung power na yon? So, tama bang interpretation ko when you say that during urgent, emergency situations like today, the DOE should have the power to cap the premium or income?
Ultimately, yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay,
Because
maraming salamat.
I just
Okay na ako doon.
Yes,
Okay na
I just
ako
want
doon.
to add, triggers can be based on price or on the availability of our reserves. No, we're trying to come up with the paper on this. Na halimbawa, pag ang inventory level natin is below 15, pero yung presyo mababa pa rin, it should trigger still, no? Mga things like that,
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Okay, maraming salamat. Congressman Toby, go ahead.
No, I agree, Mr. Chair. No? Napakahalaga po kasi during the time of crisis na may announcement yung gobyerno na ganito yung cap because that gives people confidence na makakayanan yung problema. No? Madam Secretary. No? So napakahalaga yung may cap because pag nag-announce yung gobyerno ng cap, it shows na kontrolado ng gobyerno yung sitwasyon. No? So I would like to request you kung ano po yung rene-request nyong batas. Please send us the executive version.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, next po. Pag dumating yung pagkakataon, Mr. Chair, na bawasan yung excise tax or tanggalin yung excise tax kasi binigyan na ng kapangyarihan ng Kongreso ang executive branch, does the DOE have enough manpower to monitor na tama naman yung gagawin ng mga kumpanya? Kasi kung pababa yung presyo at tinanggal yung excise tax o pabataas yung presyo at tinanggal yung excise tax, dapat talagang na-apply nung oil companies doon sa mga fuel na dumating na walang excise tax. So papaano imo-monitor ng DOE yung dapat na wala ng excise tax kumpara doon sa sasabihin naman nila na ito may excise tax. So paano po yun?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Yes, we don't have the manpower for this, but we have the local government units that they're very vigilant, and the PNP also. So we can work with them whenever we issue an advisory. They're the ones that are implementing and or assisting us, Mr. Chair. So meron naman tayong network na kaya yan, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So, yung huli lang po, Mr. Chair, kanina po kausap.
Pwede bang in
Yes.
support of that?
Yes, yes, Mr. Chair.
Yung, tama ba ako, Secretary Sharon, na yung sinasabi ninyo is yung part of the reason why nagiging, of course, limited ang ating manpower in terms of monitoring. So that's why nagre-rely tayo sa LGU. Pero yung nadidinig ko rin na isang suggestion is that one of the reasons why hindi natin na fully mobilize ang LGU for price monitoring is, correct me if I'm wrong, hindi kasama ang liquid petroleum, meaning gasolina, under the price control law o kung anong batas man ang tinutukoy. Pwede bang sabihan mo kami dyan, kasi importante yung tanong ni Kong Toby, so that we can incorporate it as part and parcel of whatever we will churn out in this committee.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Only kerosene, no? Kerosene and
LPG.
LPG are in the Price Act. So kung in times of emergency, DTI can freeze the price, not on gasoline or diesel, Mr. Chair.
So
Wala yan dyan.
kailangan ma-amend yung batas para masama yan. Tama ba ako? Hindi.
I think it's more prudent if the amendment is on the oil deregulation rather than on the Price Act, Mr. Chair.
Okay. We will take that into
Yes,
consideration. Go ahead, Congressman Toby.
Ang buti yung sinabi ni ang Congresswoman Garin yung Secretary Garin yung tungkol po sa LGU. But I think they have to give the LGU more powers eh. Alam niyo, for example, kagabi may nakita ako sa news sa Navotas Fishport na may supposedly nagtitinda ng illegal na fuel, no? But may mga port kasing ganyan. For example, I think it's the same in other ports, na it has a special charter na yung Navotas Police hindi in charge doon sa peace and order situation doon sa port. Kasi according to the charter of the Navotas Fish Port, ang in charge doon sa peace and order is the Maritime Police. Parang ano yan eh, to give an analogy, it's just like the airport na kahit nasa Pasay siya, merong ABSECOM sa loob na hindi local police ang nagpo-police doon. I think ganun din po ba, Congressman Valeriano, sa mga ports sa Manila?
Yeah, merong mga customs police naman.
Customs police, hindi yung local police, di ba? So, yes.
Tsaka hindi ABSICOM. Medyo
Ay, sorry.
1983 pa yun.
So, ano na po ba ngayon? Ano na ngayon, Chairman? Ano ba ang police sa loob ng airport?
Basta airport police na lang. Sige,
Airport
go ahead,
police.
go ahead.
So, hindi, kasi doon mangyayari yung supposed smuggling. For example, doon sa mga pier doon sa Manila na hindi naman local police. So if you want the local government unit to be able to monitor, sana, I don't know kung pakicheck na lang po sa legal department ninyo, sa executive branch, kung pwedeng during this time of fuel, ano ba tawag nyo? Fuel crisis?
Energy emergency.
Energy emergency, bigyan yung local government through the local police authority to inspect those areas, katulad ng Port of Manila, katulad yung fish port namin, na hindi strictly according to the charter na binabawalan nila yung local police doon. I think that will really help. I think madami pang port sa buong Pilipinas na ganyan ng sitwasyon eh, na based on their charter, meron silang sariling police, hindi po yung local police.
Yes, Mr. Chair. In fact, we had to resort to the NDRRMC. We consider this as a disaster.
Yes.
So we triggered that with them, and they've been helping us with all the implementation. But yes, a more straightforward authorization to the LGU would have been clearer. Mr. Chair, if you can just indulge me in explaining. Ang problema kasi, if you notice when we announce the price, it goes on a range, di ba? Hindi siya definite na aakyat siya 20 pesos. We'll say it comes from 17 to 21 pesos. Why? Because it's a different structure every company. Every island has a different cost consequence, no? And transportation, insurance, and all. So, in times like this, I think it would be easier to implement. Kasi si Mayor, hindi niya alam kung ano ba talaga presyo. No, because it goes in a range. So if there's more clarity on the authority of DOE and on the enforcement, siguro mas maayos yung pagkaka-implement and monitoring the compliance of the oil companies, Mr.
Yes, and last question, Mr. Chair. Kanina po, nag-usap na kami ni Secretary Garin. I was asking her, no, so that she can confirm now, during normal situations, okay naman yung Oil Deregulation Act, no?
Yes,
can you
Mr.
confirm?
Chair. Yes, Mr. Chair.
So you need additional powers during special times like this.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Chair, since my time is up, I will just request Secretary Garin to send her proposal on the amendments of the Oil Deregulation Act, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Toby.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Just mechanically to all the members who are present today as well as on Zoom, really the objective here is to come up with an entire list of amendments which will necessarily be like, when we said bayanihan, we meant that it's going to be an omnibus amendment to address the current oil crisis. Because if we don't put it under a general omnibus act, it might be struck down as being unconstitutional because, as you all know, when we pass laws, there's only one subject per law. So when we go beyond that, unless we are able to present it in a manner that it is really a comprehensive address to address an extraordinary situation like today. So,
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
thank you, Congressman Tiangco.